Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I'm J 300 level student or person along with the University of Ibadan.
Every single chance I get, what did I do? Because I mean, making memories.
Do you wanna be the snowman?
Penultimate year is an experience that words can hardly capture, filled with excitement, pressure, and a sense of transition. It's the phase where the future feels closer than ever, responsibilities start to pile up, and every decision seems to carry more weight. However, instead of just sharing my experience, I asked a few of my friends to share theirs too. Their stories reflect the highs, the struggles, and the lessons we've all learned along the way. And here's what they have to say.
I think for most students, I've heard it before, that 300 level or the penultimate year is usually the toughest year in school and all of that. And to be very honest, that was my experience. Lots of classes, assignments, projects, term papers to write, and coupled with the fact that some of our classes were quite inconsistent. Classes started late, finished late. It was really tough. I think I almost lost my mind at some point. Yeah, but one thing I'm grateful for was that I had support around me. I knew I was not alone, so it kind of helped me, kept me sane. One thing I'll tell my younger self is to be prepared. Yeah, I think I wasn't as prepared for 300 level, but I don't think you can completely be prepared, but at least I think there's a level of preparation that can save you. Be prepared for the very good, the not so good, the bad, and all of that. And yeah, have faith in God. And just keep trusting God. Don't let your faith waver, and you'll be fine.
So what was 300 level like for me? Gang gang. 300 level was challenging and it really stretched me, like in the good way. So I had more assignments to do, more projects, more deadlines, more group works, and in fact more responsibilities outside schoolwork. One thing that really stood out to me was how God helped me through it. 300 level was like the smartest that I had ever felt since I've entered UI. Like I felt really smart, and I feel like that was just God's way of telling me that, yeah, Nolua, you know what? 300 level is what I say it is, not what people say it is, or what it normally feels like or looks like for everybody. And that was really encouraging. What advice would I give my 300 level self? Approach 300 level with this heart of I want to grow, I want to learn. Because if you approach it with the mindset of giving the barest minimum, I think 300 level is going to be a lot for you. But if you approach it with this mind of I'm going to give it my best, you're actually going to do it. Another thing I would say is that start early, because there are many courses that felt like mountains to me. And at the end of the day, I figured that this thing is not even as deep as it looked like. And I think I would have realized that earlier if I had started earlier. Then something we always like, take up your time. And so I would not, because of the many schoolworks I have to do and personal things, then I will now leave church aside. That's going to be a great mistake. Like, don't leave church. In fact, most of the times, in fact, every time I found strength in the gathering of believers. And that's one thing I'll tell my 300 level self, that go to church, chiget.
Hi, my name is Bolu Atife Animashao, 400 level student of sociology, president of the faculty of social sciences. My 300 level, one thing I struggled with was balancing responsibilities, and it could get quite overwhelming when you begin to pick up responsibilities of different sorts, so as to say, feel the CV, but I think it could have a toll on your academics, your finances, your health, your relationship with people, friendship, spiritual life, and I think it's only wise to learn how to balance each of these things. So what I would say, if I could go back to 300 level, is I won't pick so much responsibilities like I did. I won't get involved in so many things like I did. Prioritize myself more. I'll max maybe 2 responsibilities and focus on school. So while you try to do the volunteering, do the politics, do social impact, you also want to take note of yourself and because the degree to which you can function is the degree to which your body is healthy, your health is very, very important. So I think that's one thing I would love for 300 level to know, because 300 level can be very, very, very demanding, especially if it's your penultimate year. And yeah, take out time to rest, take out time to eat well, feed well, and just have the best of 300 level.
300 level was the hardest I've ever experienced in this school. I don't know where to start from. Is it from the lecturers or from the way the classes went, from the fact that we're writing book assignments on exams and trying to read for two of them together, the fact that we had an assignment for every of the exams we did, the fact that we didn't have classes, and it was a lot, and I did not really think that I would have been able to scale through. Like, seeing my first semester result, I didn't even think I was able to be on that kind of scale, coupled with the fact that I was social director of my department and I was planning social events while everything was going on. Everything was working at the same time. I was trying to make money, I was trying to get a business, I was trying to learn a skill. But I think at the end it was productive in most ways. I think it was one of the levels that I got closer to God. I grew in my relationship with Him. I was able to drop some things and I was able to take up some things, and I think 300 level really was a mixture of so many things. Then if I was to give anybody an advice, not stress yourself, it will help. Put your friends more. Be close to your classmates too, because all of you are going through almost the same thing and they can understand when you say some certain things.
I would say 500 level was a year that I labored from a place of rest. It was so because 400 level was the toughest year in pharmacy school for me. There are many times I cried, there are many times that I gave up. There are many times that I asked myself, what am I even doing in this pharmacy school? And then my results came out and it felt like I didn't do so well. It felt like I didn't labor well, even though I did, but my results were not correlating with my labors. And then the 500 level, I just told myself, if I can survive 400 level, there's nothing else that can break me in this pharmacy school anymore. So I decided to put in my very best from a place of rest. I read smart. I tried to be balanced in many things that I was doing, and I just really trusted God for whatever the outcome was going to be. And then my 500 level first semester result came out, and I did excellently well, beyond what I expected. And so I said, why not keep laboring from a place of rest instead from a place of fear? The penultimate here taught me to trust God. It taught me to be calm. It taught me that there was nothing that I cannot survive. And the only advice I would give my 500 level self is to remain focused regardless of whatever happens, and never forget to trust God.
Settle everything now before you step into 311. You've probably seen your results, or you've not. But heal. Don't carry hurt into 311. Don't carry pent up frustration and anger. Let the Lord heal you. I think it was one of my friends that was saying, Oto-Obong, I want God to come and sit down with me and let us talk about my results. Do you get? Have that kind of conversation. Don't just go like that. No, settle everything. It may not be everything. At least, God has started settling some things. It's not a 300 level. He wants to settle those things. Don't carry over you're crossing over. Excellence is a journey. It's not a destination. You cannot say, oh, I have arrived at excellence. This is the best I can do. There's always room for improvement. So I'm saying this to those who have been doing well from maybe 100 level, 200 level, always look for areas you can improve in. Don't be stagnant. Don't remain where you are. And now for those that have not been doing so well, there can be this subtle feeling of, oh, I've been trying my best, I've been giving my all, I'm not doing again. Let me just know that I am mediocre and I'm getting mediocre results, rather than I am putting in so much effort and I'm getting mediocre results. You get? But I want you to understand that your life is beyond school. Your life is beyond university. There's still much more to you than now. There's much more to you than your grades, right? And if you are giving due diligence to these things, whether or not the results are favorable, right, there is something that's happening in you. Let me give this as an example here. So you go into graphics. The first design you're going to make will not be as good as those who have been in the business for years. But if you put your best in that first design and you see that there's room for improvement, you always keep it is gradual. You keep growing, always putting in your best. But if you are mediocre, you are limiting yourself. they are limiting your growth in a span of 2 years, something that you could have achieved, but because you chose to be mediocre, it can take you like 6 years to achieve it. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So this is not the time to give up in that sense. Some people might have already said that, oh, academics is not my thing. Maybe this other thing is my thing. So let me just do and graduate from school with any result. I'll focus on that. Who told you that you're going to be good in that? There is something that is happening in you. There is this growth process, and very soon you just realize that, how did I get to this point? God is intentionally working in you. Don't give up. And again, it is a command. It is necessary. It is required. It is not something that I say, oh, this area of my life, I'll be excellent in it. This other area, I'll not going to be excellent. Who are you? Who are you? The Bible says that whatever your hands finds to do it well. Work at it heartily. So even if at all you don't want to see that excellence is a journey, realize that this is something that God has placed in your hands and you will give account for it. Give yourself to your course. I know this may not be like really, really easy for some people, especially those who probably do not like their course, but really, you don't want to spend how many years in school and graduate and there is nothing to show for it. I mean, of course, you may not eventually end up doing being in that field of interest or working in that aspect, but there is something like we need to see the bigger picture, guys. There is much more to life than school, and this is a training ground. So give yourself to your courses. I think another thing that can really help is finding out the problems that your course can provide solution to spur you to love your course much more. And understand that where you are, it may not be where you want to be, but as long as God is writing your story, it is all part of God's plan that you are here. Don't miss out on this journey. You can love the course. God can make you love the course. Yes, invest in quality relationships with the same gender, with the opposite gender, because there's this possibility we all say that our future partner will first of all become our friends, right? So it's possible for you to start seeing a potential spouse in your friendships, but the con to that is that it can ruin the friendship. And I think it's something that God really, really took me through in 300 level. Personally, I'm not a boy person. I'm more of a girl's girl. I just feel like we understand each other. I'm like, go girl, I can't do go boy. No, you guys. God started putting me in places where I would have to relate more with guys. And it was very, very difficult. I remember the first time I literally cried. I was like, God, why? And God was intentionally teaching me that it's not every guy that comes into my life that is a potential. And there's this book that I'm reading, right? I'm reading it to one of my friends. And one of the things they were saying in the book was that you see them as a fellow pilgrim. And oh my God, there was this day, I don't know, I came across this picture. And I'm not going to lie, this guy is really, really fine, attractive. And I was just staring at the picture. I didn't even know that I was staring at the picture for that long. And it just came to my head, Oto-Obong, fellow pilgrim. I was like, fellow pilgrim. And then I had to go out of there. So you have to be very, very conscious to constantly remind yourself that this is a friendship and these are the boundaries, so that you do not lose beautiful friendships because of fickle feelings. You understand that your feelings are fickle, right? They are here today, they are not there tomorrow. And it doesn't necessarily mean that your feelings are invalid. If you see someone nice, beautiful, has those things, sound doctrine, all of those things that are on your spec list, and you like the person, it's normal, it's fine. God gave you those emotions, but emotions are like fire. If they are not well guarded, it will burn, the whole house, everything will burn. So you have to be very, very intentional about managing your emotions, and it's something I can trust God with. You can surrender to God. Build yourself much more than 4 walls of school. I've said it before that your life is beyond school. It doesn't end at school. So start building yourself in those future aspirations that God has given you, or dreams that God has given you. If you know that, after school we are going to go into a business, start working on yourself now. After school we are going to get into, of course, you are going to get married. Start developing yourself now. You know that after school, it's not even about after school. There are some certain things that God would have placed in your heart to do right now. Build yourself, invest yourself in other areas aside school. more like extracurriculars. If it's public speaking, some people are going into politics, some people, but don't do it so much that, like Boluwatife said, don't put so much burden on yourself, because there's that possibility of, oh, I want to fill my CV, and then you are doing like so many things, and then you lose your rest, you're just drained, you're just burnt out. Yeah, but give yourself to the necessary things outside of school. Apply for scholarships if applicable. I know some people might have given up, like maybe they've been applying, nothing has clicked. Let me share my own testimony. Maybe this is the time. I've been applying for scholarships since, is it 100 level second semester? I should have been applying. None of them clicked. I'm even so used to rejection, to the point that when I'm applying, I'm like, whether it works or not, I'm sure applying. But in 300 level, like a scholarship clicked. I was so shocked, because for the first time in my life, what? So like, don't give up, basically. Just keep trying. Who knows? The next one will click. Yes, project. Many of us want to leave our project till final year. Don't fall into that category. When we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. This is the bridge. The bridge starts from now. So if you can start learning about research, I think one of the perks for my department was that they taught us about research in 300 level. We did it first semester and second semester, but I learned that it's not all departments or faculties that teach research, but you can learn it on your own. You can study. ChatGPT really helped me. Like, I'll just sit down and I'll come up with a research topic, and I'll start asking myself, okay, what sampling methods will I use? What this will I use? You can even take courses on research, like just to build yourself. By the time you get to final year, you're not choked up and you're starting to learn everything all over from the beginning. No, make research on research. Start thinking about your project proposal. Don't burden yourself with it, obviously, but like, start learning about it. And lastly, I would say, don't do penultimate year without God. Hey, I don't know how people do it. I don't know how people live life without Jesus Christ. For somebody like me, Jesus, I can't. It will stress you, right? There will be a lot. Like, I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything for you, but everything God can give you is God. If God is in your boat, He will calm the storm, or He will walk you through it. This is not the time to come and be saying, well, I'm heading towards 400 level, so my fellowship activities I'll cut down. No, I've always been an advocate of going to church. All of you that likes leaving church out and actively serving in church. So everybody that still keeps saying that, okay, serving would always affect your academics. Maybe we should talk about that later. If you're interested in that, please let me know in the comments section. Service does not have to affect your academics. You know how you serve God and God will not come through for you. Are you whining me? Are you whining God? No. So give yourself to God. The outside world is not funny. You're heading towards there, and it is the disciplines you've given yourself to now that will build you for the future. If you don't know how to study your Bible now, if you don't know how to create time to pray now, do you think it's when you graduate from school that you have like how many jobs? You probably maybe get married, you have kids, like you're doing a lot, right? You think that's the time you are going to have time to build now is the time. Make it your priority. Stop worrying. Stop losing your mind. Stop trying to overanalyze everything. Everything may not be clear to you right now, but you can trust that if you are with God, you will bloom in time, and you will bloom beautifully. Emphasis on beautifully. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.